Welcome to Get It Done Entrepreneurs, where we talk with founders of companies who bet on themselves and won. My name is Rich LeBrun, and I am the founder and CEO of LeBrun Advisory Group. You can find us at rlebrun.com. Our mission is to help our clients build wealth through business ownership. Stick around to the end of the show and we'll reveal how you can be our next guest.
I have a unique opportunity to interview a gentleman who's 92 years old, who's got a lot of story to tell. And I'm going to go off my normal podcast format because I want to hear. Al has so much. His name is Al Siamon. Al has so much to share, and we have such a short period of time. Okay, so we're going to get a chance to hear about Al's experience of being in business by himself, for himself, since age 20, and he is 92 today. He's still going strong. Has over 24 patents. He's invented things that us as consumers have used every day. We'll get a chance to hear about that, as well as how he's navigated different ups and downs throughout our economy over this last 92 years. So with that said, Al, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. I'm really excited about this. And we were talking a little bit before the show about how we're going to cover all 92 years of experience in 20, 25 minutes. But let's cover this. That's a tough one. So I'm going to try to do this the best we can. But there's a couple of things we want to get done today. You have a product, which we're going to make sure we talk about, called Balance 7. We're going to make sure we talk about that and how the importance. But before we get to that, I'm sure our audience would love to hear. You're 92. You told me you started this business. You've been on your own since at 20 years old. If you remember back to 20, why were you an entrepreneur? Did you have to be? Did you want to be? Was it in your spirit?
Well, here, when I was 12 years old, they sent a letter home to my mother saying I was retarded and unteachable. I have dyslexia. I'm sure everybody's heard of dyslexia. And they sent me to a special school. I went one day and I ran away from home. So I've been on my own since I'm 12. And if you can't, my biggest problem is I can't spell. I cannot write. I taught myself to write checks. That's the limit of my expertise. I cannot write a letter. I can't do anything along that line. When I got married, I told my wife, if you can't spell, I can't marry you. It's a tough hole when you're trying to be something else besides a ditch digger, because when you go to work for somebody, you have to be able to write things down. And I wasn't able to do it. So in order to overcome that, I became my own businessman. That's the reason I've been in business most of my life.
Let me ask you, what was your first business at age 20?
At age 20, I opened a machine shop.
A machine shop. Okay.
Yep. I taught myself to be a machinist in 6 months' time. I had 23 jobs in 6 months. And I went to work for a company, and they were paying me $60 a week. And I saw all the business in it. So I rented a garage. And I called up and told them I had a big job to do. I need this equipment delivered right away. I got a lathe and a drill press and some other equipment. And I had no jobs. I went out looking for work. I found a job nobody else wanted to do, and I found a way to do it. I made a lot of money on it. And that was my beginning in the machine business. And then I had 37 people working for me at one time. And Eisenhower took all the business and brought it over to Texas. I'm down to me and a kid working in a big shop, and eventually I just couldn't hold on anymore, so I got out of the business.
Well, that's no easy task. I mean, you can start a lot of different types of business, but especially if someone had a hard time reading and along that line, doing to open up a machine shop. That was today we'd call it an engineering business, right?
Yep. I enjoyed being a machinist better than anything, being creative on a machine and understanding when you read a print, the best way to handle it. There's usually about 4 ways to handle a job in different directions, and to pick the best one and making the best money. I had a very interesting career in the machine business. I did work when I was doing it. A lot of the companies found out that I do specialized any kind of work. And some of the machines that parts that I made were slides and sleeves, which were very difficult to manufacture. And I got to be known as a guy that you went to if you had a difficult job to do.
Like $60 a week, though, in starting a machine shop takes capital. How'd you find 20 years old, making $60 a week? How'd you find capital at that?
I told the guy I had needed another lathe for my shop, and at that time there was no credit problems or anything, so I just signed for it because he thought I had a regular shop already. I just needed another lathe. I lied a little bit, just a little. I did a lot of when you can't spell and write, you do a lot of strange things. I bought 3 houses and I didn't even have a job at the time. What I did is I put a phone in my second phone in, and I had my wife say that it was such and such here. I never missed a payment in my life. I never wrote a bad check. I never stiffed anybody. But sometimes during that first 25 years of my married life, every summer I couldn't work. It's summer vacation time. So I did a lot of strange things, and because I had no compass, nobody to tell me what to do. When you're 12 years old and you're on your own, it's quite an interesting phenomenon.
Let me ask you a question. We are now, 70 some years later. A lot of new technology helping people who cannot read or write. Have you learned that skill now?
No, I'm still. I married a second lady. I told her the same thing. You can't spell, I can't marry you. She told me she could spell.
I love it. I love it.
It's an amazing fact that I got through life the way I did because I was working for Mark Quark Aviation. I had and they went on some kind of hysteria kick. I went to pick up my contract, and they wanted me to fill it out. I'm sweating bullets. I can't do this. And there's a salesman over there watching me going crazy, trying to figure out how to write this stuff out so it made sense. He came, can I help you fill it out? And I thought I was just stupid until I heard there was a senator from, I think it was Colorado, was on the air talking about dyslexia. That's the first time I ever heard the word. And he told me, he said, what it felt like when the teacher asked him to write something on the board. And all the feelings that I had during that time I was in school came up at that time. And it was quite amazing what a difference learning what was wrong with me. And then what I did is I learned I could read anything. Reading had no problem. Just I can't write. My brain will not allow it to function on that level. And I did a lot of research on it. And I started to lecture teachers because teachers have no idea what dyslexia is or how to handle it. They do today. There's been a lot of work done since in the 70s when I learned about what I had. It was, I guess, late 70s. And the eventuality was that the teachers got the idea that they have glasses now that help people with dyslexia, colored glasses.
I didn't know that.
Getting through life without being able to spell is a very difficult one, I promise you, very difficult.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is going to be probably hard for you because you've been around for long and had so many different businesses. So the question is is there anything you look back and say you would do differently, knowing with all the wisdom you have now regarding starting a business?
Yeah, I was overcautious. Many times I turned down things that could have made me tens of millions of dollars because it would involve my entire amount of money that I had on hand. And if something went wrong, I'd have to start over again. So I was too cautious in a lot of areas. Okay.
On the flip side, you're successful. You've been successful in many different facets. Is there any one or two key decisions that help be that catalyst for success?
Yeah, finding the right people to work with. If you find the right people that you surround yourself with, it's amazing how easy it is. And for years I was a loner. I never had partners. I never wanted partners, and I guess I didn't take advice either. As I got older and a little smarter, I began to learn that I'm not the only one out there with a brain. Yeah, and that's a tough one to overcome sometimes.
Yeah, usually the hardest person to get out of the way is us.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, good. All right, so let's kind of skip along here a little bit and kind of jump in increments. 24 patents. You said before the show you created some things that we as consumers utilize. Give us an idea of some of the things you've created.
I didn't quite understand that.
Give some, you have 24 patents out there, and we talked before the show. Some of the things you've created are things that we as consumers use today.
Yeah, well, in the early 60s, I got a contract from Dashiell Bishop Machine, who was working for Bank of America, to build the first Bank of America slide bar credit card machine. And they had to have it at $15 or less, and nobody could do it at 15. And they had 3 other companies try, and nobody could do it. So I got the contract on $25,000 on condition I could bring it in under 15 or 15 or under. I brought it in at $13, and they were thrilled to death with it.
Is that what we use today, or had been using?
No, it's still being used in outlying areas. You can never wear it out. I mean, it's so designed you can't wear it out. The same machines are being used 40, 50 years later.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that you've done that. I definitely want, again, I'm going to leave plenty of time to talk about Balance 7, but I want to make sure I ask this question too. You know, you've experienced a lot of ups and downs in the economy. Okay, you experienced depressions, recessions, labor shortages, change of presidents, wars, you know, supply chain issues. You've experienced all that in your 92 years, and here you are still going strong as an entrepreneur. How would you coach today business owners as they face these type of things like we're facing in 2022?
You know, in my life, I saw a lot of good times and a lot of bad times. When Eisenhower took all the business out of California, a lot of my friends in the machine shop business, they had big homes, big cars, big expenses, and big payments. And when that happened, they all went busted, every one of them, because they live with. You just take care of your expenses today so they don't bite you later tomorrow. And if you want to live high on the hog, make sure you have enough cash to pay off your debts. You know, I've always hated interest. When you pay interest and you have money in the bank, that's crazy. So everything I pay for is cash, and it's a thing that I've done most of my life. I feel very strongly that the most important thing you can do is watch your bottom line.
Watch the bottom line. Obviously, you can, you know, if you're in the cash business, in fact, I always remember when the economy was bad in 2008, they said there's 2 people who don't care about this. This is like Warren Buffett and the people who don't have any debt. So, you know, when you have no debt, you can.
Warren Buffett is my hero, by the way.
Is he your hero? Okay.
Yeah. He's quite a man. He's the most down-to-earth man I've ever had the fortune of listening to. He's very down-to-earth, very, very understanding of what makes things move, and that's what it takes. Yeah. If you want to go into you know, I've been in probably 24 businesses in my life, maybe more. I don't remember all of them, and I've only failed in one of them. I opened a all potato restaurant, and that turned out to be a nightmare because where I opened it was not the place to open it. Yeah,
it's always a real estate play for sure. When you see tough times from your experience now, so here's a tough time. People like Warren Buffett would say, when people get fearful, he jumps in. He sees opportunity. Do you perceive it that way? Do you see in times like this, there's actually great opportunity?
You know, in the 90s, I made a lot of money in the stock market. I was a day trader. And I was retired. I retired when I was 56 and traveled in a motorhome for 13 years. And I made millions of dollars on one stock. I made $2.4 million. And that was a St. John Sport. It was on the news for about 2 weeks. You remember that stock?
I do. Unfortunately, I don't have the same story as you do, but I do.
And I bought it and I bought it and I bought it. And it went to 75 and split, went to 75 and split, and I sold out.
Very nice, very nice. So you're a believer. You know, there's opportunity. Obviously, if you position yourself well, you mentioned that earlier. If you like, keep your debt or be out of debt, have cash available, you can take advantage of these opportunities. They're circling around us.
I'm a firm believer. Now, all the brokers I deal with, they get upset with me because when I see the market is going to head down, I pull out. And then when I can't time it, they say, well, If it's halfway up from where it was, and I get into it, I've saved half of it. So I'm a timer. Sometimes I miss. I don't get the whole market return, but I get a lot of it, and by then I haven't lost all the money and trying to get it back. I've lived like that.
Yeah.
It's the market is a wonderful place to make money, and it's a wonderful place to have. They tell me that if you keep your money in there for 30 years, you're going to be rich, but you're not having any fun with the money that you're doing. Well, you're going to be an old man and you can't use the money that you get. So I made the money, took it out of the market, spent it, enjoyed it, and went back in the market when the timing was right.
There you go. So I'm curious, you retired at 56. How many times have you retired since then?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
In 1999, I heard a story on the television. I was in a motorhome in Texas, and I came home on Sunday night. About 2 million people went to the hospital, and 2 million people, 80,000 of them died from staph infection. And I felt I had a product that would stop it. And so I went back into business, and that was Sunday night. On Monday morning, I was back in business.
All right. Well, let's jump into this product. I don't know if you're alluding to this. Balance 7 with a pH of 11 plus. Now, you developed a product, but you also used it on yourself. There's a little bit of story behind here too. So I'd like to talk to you about the story. Tell us about the product. I'm not a medical person, so you're going to have to educate me as well as our listeners. But please, let's take this, next few minutes or 10 minutes or what we need. Tell us about the product and tell us what you're doing with the product.
All right. Balance 7 is a product of pH 11. When your body's acidic, every bacteria, virus, cancer, parasite can live in your body and be a healthy host for your body. And when you drink Balance 7, it literally wakes the immune system up. And when the immune system is fully awake, it fights everything that attacks you and normally can win. The drugs that they give you inhibit your immune system. They tell you if you have tuberculosis, it'll come back, or all these other diseases because your immune system is compromised. Balance 7 works on the principle that they're just beginning to try to understand now. The body's immune system is the most powerful tool to keeping your body healthy. I'm a perfect example of it. I had quadruple open heart surgery. They told me it'd take me 6 to 9 months to get back on my feet. In 6 weeks, I was back at the office. And when I was 89, they told me I had stage 4 cancer. The doctor said it'd be too hard on you to take the chemo. I didn't take. I told them I'll take the chemo and it won't be hard on me. I had no side effects, and I took 5 treatments, and I was actually cancer-free in 3 treatments. But they wanted to be sure. It's the most powerful tool to bring in your body back to full health. And I'd probably go to jail if I went to said this out loud to anybody. But when you drink Balance 7, it literally dilutes the acid that you build up in your body. Every can of soda pop in your body is still there. Every drink is still there. The acid buildup in your body becomes enormous. And when the body can no longer contain it, that's when the bacteria and viruses get, when we're 20, our immune system is so strong, we're attacked by a lot of diseases, and we never know it, but it gets rid of them right on the spot. As soon as they come in, they're gone. As we get older and our immune system becomes compromised, you can't have an attack without the immune system overcoming it, so your body becomes full of bacteria and viruses. The most important thing to know about this, there's no downside. Now, if it has a barometer, if you drink Balance 7 and the taste is really strong to you, that means you have a high acidity. If it has little or no taste, means your body's in really good shape and can fight anything. But that's about 1 or 2% of American people that we found can drink it without any taste. And I've had people say it tastes awful. I says, your body needs it. Drink it for 2 weeks and the taste will go away and your body's become alkaline and you can feel that you can fight any disease along the way. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Your body has to have the bad taste for you to understand how bad your body's in. I get excited about when I talk about Balance 7. I have seen so many things. I've sold 6 million bottles in Africa. The African people love it. They love the strong flavor of it because they know it's working. That's what they tell us. And in America, everything has to be sweet in order for you to drink it. But the truth is, Balance 7 is the best barometer to tell you what condition your body's in. And if it tastes bad to you, drink it for 2 weeks and the taste will start to go away. To me, it tastes like water. That's how good my body's at.
Why Africa? Why did you start there?
This is so good a product. I was scared to death the drug company would shoot me. That's the truth. I have not doctors in Africa told me it take the place of 90% of the drugs they used to use.
Mm-hmm.
There is no disease, no demand that can stand up to a body that's been alkalized and the immune system is no longer compromised. No disease. We've had people with terminal cancer given 3 months to live, no longer have cancer. In fact, the insurance company I'm working with now, they're going to bring us 10 patients to prove the cancer part that are terminal, and I'll save all 10 of them.
Is this a product that's coming over to the U.S.?
Pardon?
Is this a product that's going to be sold in the United States now?
No, we sell it in Canada. I'm shipping back to Africa, starting shipping back to Africa next month.
Okay, very good.
It's
go ahead.
There's no downside to it. There's no side effects as long as you're following what the instructions are. And when you drink this, your energy comes back, your memory comes back. I once about 7, 8 years ago, I couldn't drink it for 3 months. I couldn't remember my own phone number.
Yeah, well, you're a testament in yourself.
That's what they tell me, because I drive on the freeway at 75 miles an hour. I go to work 5 days a week, and I still love the ladies. My wife, that is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let me ask you: is this treatment something you just take as a treatment, or you just take this ongoing, like every day you take a drink of this, or what?
Every day.
Every day, 3 times a day.
Three times a day. Okay.
And it's really it's about half at the price of a cup of coffee a day.
Okay, very good.
It's not expensive, and in 3 days' time, you will feel more energy. If you have arthritis, the pain will start to disappear, and your memory gets better. And it just, in 3 days' time, there's no product in the world they would ever say in 3 days' time. They tell you to drink it for 3 months, and you'll feel better. And at the end of 3, if you don't feel anything, well, they've made their money on you. I'm not interested in making money, by the way. This is not about making money. I don't need money. At my age, money has little or no glitter. This is about bringing health and wealth to people. When people feel better, when I have people come to my house and thank me for their lives, and this is what keeps me going. I'm 92. I want to live as bad as somebody at 50.
Yeah, I can tell. So going from machinist to developing a medicinal product, how did you get into that side of the business? Is this your patent? Did you develop this?
Yes, it's being patented right now. When I was 65, I was told I hadn't seen a doctor until then. That's the first medical problem. I wasn't feeling well. I found out I had diabetes, cholesterol problems, and my arthritis was bothering me. And in general, he says, well, this is perfectly normal. As you get older, things like that happen. Well, I don't believe God intended us to be old and sick. I really don't. I believe we have our heart rate has a finite number of beats. 2 billion beats is the end of your life, approximately, of 100,000 here or there. And your heart stops, you drop dead instead of laying in the hospital with tubes up your nose. That's the way I think God intended us to die. And so I went to work for the next 10 years until I was 75. I didn't have an intention of selling it. I gave it to some friends and they kept telling me how good it was and encouraged me to bring it to the world. So I brought it to the world after that. But it is so easy to understand. When your body's acidic, everything can live in it. I did a test years ago on a cancer. We had cancers in a petri dish. We poured acid on it. It grew profusely. And we put my Balance 7 into it. It killed it instantly.
No kidding. That's amazing. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So this product you would get for us in the US, you'd say closest would be Canada, right? How do we get the product? Can I buy it here in Chicago?
Oh, yeah. All you got to do is go to balance7, 7.com. Oh, what's the telephone number? And the telephone number is 800-743-9039.
800-743-9039, balance7, 7.com.
Right, it's easy. If you call, we'll be glad to talk to you about what the information they want to require. It's I can't say enough, especially if you have arthritis. It's amazing. In 3 days' time, the pain is reduced dramatically.
Well, this is fascinating because this is a product you could buy and try. If it works,
It's 100% guarantee. All you do is call up. You don't have to send the bottle back or anything. Just call up. You want your money back, get it back.
All right. Yeah, 92, 24 patents, multiple businesses. You get this product, and you're not done yet, right?
No, I'm not done yet. I have another product that I'd like to be able to talk to you about. I created a paint additive. It's quite remarkable what it does. It makes the wall anesthetic.
All right, so let's talk about that, and then we'll close out the show. Go ahead, give us that 5 minutes on your new product.
All right, thank you. It makes the walls anesthetic, which means dust and dirt will not be drawn into your house. My housekeeper dusts the house every 3 months, and she does that because she feels she has to. There's no dust in my house. When you sleep in my house, you sleep so much better. Your nose isn't clogged. You're not trying to breathe. It makes in office settings, somebody sneezes at one end of the room, they catch it on the other. The other big one is people using HEPA filters in office buildings uses a huge amount of electricity. And this would cut the electricity dramatically by using regular filters. The painters love it. It saves 30% on paint, 30% on labor. And everybody enjoys works with it. There's no drag, and they're not fatigued when they're painting. They can paint 30% faster. There's no downside to it. It only costs $2 a gallon. And if anybody out there has any idea of going into starting a business or is interested in helping me get this to the world, I'd be very interested in talking to you. The whole truth of the matter is, I don't have the time or the energy to go into another business and started it. I created a product called Chromium Mold Control, which is the #1 selling product in the United States and Canada, and I sold it in 2019 to Rust-Oleum. So the reason I say that is because you recognize that I don't give bullshit out. This is all really stuff this product, if I could find a paint company that would start using this, would be the #1 paint company in the world. What woman wouldn't want a house that has dust-free? And here's another interesting point. Spiders won't come in and climb on your walls because they're anesthetic. I saw a spider in my house try to climb up the wall. For 30 minutes, I watched it. Went up a half inch, fall down. Went up a half inch, fall down. It felt so bad for the spider. I picked it up and put it outside. It's amazing that, and there's so many other features about this product. I could go on for another hour telling you how good it is.
Well, we may have to have another show for that. That product, you're looking for investor money, or are you looking for someone operationally?
Say again, please.
Are you looking for investors financially, or are you looking for operations, or both?
Whatever it takes to bring it into the world. It is too good to sit on a shelf. It is really that good. It doesn't fade. You can come back and touch up paint a year later, 2 years later even.
Okay.
And no paint out there would ever be able to say that. You saw the commercial where they spill wine on the wall?
Yeah.
Now that's all they can say about paint. I can spill wine on the wall. This paint has so many things to say. What housewife wouldn't like a dust-free house and no spider webs?
Oh, I know one here right in my own house that would like that.
In Australia, they have spiders that can kill you. And if you paint a line around the house on the border, they won't come into your house.
So let me be clear. So because we are going to have listeners to this podcast, if you don't mind, if you want to put this information out there in the world, what is the caliber of person you need when you say bring it to the market? Is this someone?
I need somebody either in marketing or that has a painting company. It's a no-brainer actually, because 7 ounces it goes into a gallon of paint, and that 7 ounces change the paint. And here I can't say this. I can say it now, but I can't advertise it. It makes the paint waterproof, which means mold won't grow on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can paint over mold, and it won't come through the paint.
It sounds like a phenomenal product. My son-in-law actually owns a painting company. So.
Before I leave this world, I'd love to see it in the world of product.
You already have that patented, I'm assuming?
I have a patent on that, yes.
Good.
Well,
I think we could, I know I could talk forever, but unfortunately we have to come to
I know.
And,
here's something I'd like to say, though.
go ahead.
There's absolutely no reason to patent a product except to make sure that you can still make it, because patents are worthless. If somebody wants to, I about 10 years ago, I brought it to a paint company, and they 2 weeks later they said it had no value. 1 year to the day they called me up, they brought out the paint with my product in it.
No kidding. Okay, well, so it is out there in the market a little bit. Right?
My attorneys just flat shut them down.
Very good. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your contribution to the world over 92 years. You're an inspiration to me. I'm 68, so you just give me a boost. I got another run in me.
Drink balance 7, I'll guarantee you 100.
Okay, I'll definitely go online and get myself some of that. Al, thanks again for your time. I wish you the best, and thanks for taking time out of your busy day to spend it with us and sharing your wisdom with my listeners. And all the information here will be on the podcast platform, all podcast platforms, in about 3 weeks. And that way you'll be able to get a chance to get a hold of Al and talk with him directly if you'd like to. Have a great day, Al.
You have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time and effort on this. I really think you're doing God's work. If we save one life, I'm very pleased.
Amen to that. Thank you again.
All right, thank you.
Rich LeBrun here. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Get It Done Entrepreneurs. If you are a successful business owner who would like to be on this program, please visit us at rlebrun.com/podcast and fill out the form, and we will reach out to you. If you got something out of this interview, would you share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on the socials. If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag GetItDoneEntrepreneurs. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our website, rlebrun.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.